Here's a question where you'll have to use rational equations probably to solve. So Roland's car traveled 20 miles per hour faster on the first 120 than it did on the remaining 80 miles. So let's do our distance equals rate times time. So the distance for the first half is 120 miles, and the rate was 20 miles an hour faster than the last part. So let's say the rate for the last part is x, that 80-mile stretch. And so this rate for the 120 miles is x plus 20 because they're going 20 miles an hour faster. And then they say the total trip for the thing was 4 hours. So, well, maybe let's call this one T1, T2. And I know that T1 plus T2 is equal to 4. So if I can solve this equation, distance equals rate times time for time, so time is distance divided by rate, then I could say the distance for the first trip divided by the rate for the first part, plus the distance for the second part over the rate for the second part is equal to 4. So distance, 120 over x plus 20, plus 80 over x is equal to 4. Now I'm looking for a common denominator, and it'll be x plus 20 times x. So I'll multiply every term by that lowest common denominator. So in the first one, this cancels. I'm left with 120x plus x is canceled, so I'm left with 80 times x plus 20 is equal to, here I'm left with 4 times x plus 20. So I have 120x plus 80x plus 1600 equals 4x squared plus 80x. And now I'll collect like terms. I'll bring everything over to the right. So I'll have 4x squared plus 80x. These together would be 200, so minus 200x minus 1600. So that is 4x squared minus 120x minus 1600. And then at this point, I think that you could divide everything by 4. And this is equal to 0, right? So 0 is equal to x squared minus 30x minus, divide that by 4 would be 400. So two things that multiply to 400 and add to 30, 40 and 10. A minus 40 and a plus 10. So the speed is either negative 10 or positive 40. That's what x is. So x is 40, so that's how much how fast they were going. On the last trip there, they were going 40, and then during the first part there, they'd go 40 plus 20 or 60. Hopefully that helps you with that question.